So now here we are. We've got hundreds of people. We're on the last weekend. We're in the window of time when people can now start bidding on this. Can you talk about that?
Sure. Everything happens the last 4 to 7 days, and we're living that right now on this property in North Dallas. So what we're looking at is we're narrowing down to auction day. Where is the most money for the seller? Is it auction day or is it before the auction? So again, there's a vehicle, they can place opening bids, they can buy the property before the auction. So we're looking at what's better for the seller. And Lisa's case, we felt it was better to create a bid war with multiple people prior to the auction, because sometimes the people that are involved beforehand do not want to be involved in the auction. So you're going to lose them. So there's an advantage to that. And the marketing's got to reach out to the buyer first, agent second. We're not ignoring the agents, but we can't rely on real estate agents to sell our properties. We've got to be able to connect to the consumer. And that's what I think we have an unfair advantage to the typical realtor, because we have a bigger reach, we have a bigger marketing budget, and we have a better message that drives that buyer to take action. It's the real estate agents. We have many sellers that reach out to us directly before they even list the property, or it's expired and it didn't sell. And then we still don't list properties traditionally, even though Jennie's a broker in multiple states. We normally reach out through our network to see who's the preferred agent with our firm in that area. If there isn't one in that area, then we do research and contact our other agents to see who would be the best one to list a property in that area. So that's another way that the agents can make money working with us, is to be a preferred agent in an area, because so many sellers are more and more reaching out to us directly.
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. I think again, kind of in this idea of demystifying, Mav, that on those last 4 to 7 days, what's happening? And when does it end? What does the end look like?
Yep, the end is this is how it worked in Lisa's case. Everybody has to put up hard money to bid. So in Lisa's case, it was they had to wire $100,000 into a title escrow account that the seller and the listing agent choose, not the buyer.
Not a little bit of money.
Say again?
Not a little bit of money. A lot of money, right? No,
it's between 100 and 250, but hers was 100. And then, and that goes even if they want to make an offer. And here's where we talked about earlier, where the seller has control. This is the big difference in a pre-auction offer situation that happened in Lisa's case. Before we even present an offer, they have to wire their money in. All of our properties are sold with no contingency, so we don't have fallouts for the most part. And when they've wired their money and we have their offer in, and say we have multiple offers and we're moving the people up the ladder, and some guy gets to his top offer, he can't move anymore. Well, in the traditional world, buyer makes offer, the seller counters, buyer's offer is released. In my world, in our world, in the luxury auction world, there is no release until we tell them to release it. So we still have that person's money, and that offer is real at their number. Versus if we say there's another higher bid, might be the fact they need 30 days to close, and the other person can close tomorrow. So the seller sometimes will go with the little less offer because they know it can close quicker. There's different scenarios, but what we're looking at is where's the most money. And then if we're in a pre-auction offer situation, then we're vying the buyers against each other, and then we get to the top. And most of the time we are within our range of value, and the seller is obligated to sell in that range. And then we go back to the seller, here's our high bid, we're finished. And then the seller signs a purchase contract, and the buyer puts in 10% of their bid the next day, minus the 100 in that example, and then close in 30 days with no contingencies. So these are all non-contingent sales, which is extremely clean for the seller. most of the deals that fall apart in the traditional real estate world fall apart in that inspection period. We do all of that ahead of time, before auction day or even before they make an offer. So
tell me about that a little bit, because that's super fascinating, again, in this process. So you all, in your 4 to 6 week period, you've done an inspection to find anything that would in the traditional world sort of stop or kill the deal, right?
Yes. And if I may, Maverick, may I go and highlight this piece? Is that okay?
Please go ahead, Jenny. I was just going to say that.
Okay, super. So yes, Diane, once the seller has committed to moving forward and we have an agreement between the listing agent, the seller, and the auction company, the first thing we do is we share duties, if you will. As part of that comes to what Maverick just referred to as the due diligence packet. And I think that's why it comes back to, Diane, why 50% of the buyers are unrepresented, because they have so much information moving forward and feel comfortable moving forward because they have that packet of due diligence information. So to explain what's in that packet, to Maverick's point, we have a seller property disclosure. We have a home inspection. As part of that home inspection, what goes with it? The termite inspection, the pool inspection, depending on the state. Do we need a survey? If there's a well on the property, we have the well inspected. All the traditional documents that would normally go through that contingent 10-day inspection period once the purchase contract has been signed, we provide to the buyers prior to them making their decision whether or not they want to participate and bid in the auction, which makes them feel extremely comfortable moving forward with our process. And so many people say, this is so transparent. I had a conversation with an agent just myself yesterday who said, you're very transparent. You're giving me all the information. I don't have to ask any questions. You're providing all the documentation. So when I know I'm representing a buyer moving into a where is, as is sell at auction, I have no questions because you've made that packet of due diligence information available to me and my buyer, so we can do our due process and know that if we're moving forward, there's not a 10-foot gaping hole in the ceiling, or maybe there is, and we, just take an amount off of our bid to know what it's going to take to repair that hole in the ceiling, as an example.